I'm Matcha Bunny, and today we are going to be playing the full, well, not the full game, obviously, because this is actually, I think, a longer game, but we finally, or at least I have, finally purchased the full game of Tiny Bunny. So we can actually play the entire game rather than just the prologue like we were playing before. So let's get started. We're to start a new game though. I did check that earlier. So there might be repeats of stuff again. But you know that's fine. Um It should be fine. Maybe it'll be scary this time. Once we actually get more into the game. I'm drinking tea before I have to read. Okay. The wind crawled at my window all night long. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh well. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneering, twilled in the air. They were shouting and laughing and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house has a mind of its own. The creaky old mind of a building that has seen a lot of its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whistling and swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was no one behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It was just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still, Episode 1. The owl will arrive. Ooh. Oh, it has voices! Wait, what? Hold on. We're gonna save really fast. I wanna... Okay, hold on. Oh, you can do a lot of empty slots. Hold on. I just wanna see settings. Oh. I think all the... Wait. We're gonna lower the volume for the voices because it's in Russian and I don't... Well, if there's people that speak Russian, good on you. I don't have her. Hey, put your book away, your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look how slouched you are. Hide the book. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand, after reading it 3 times anyways. Olia had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girl from a commercial. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepish night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Chrysian Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Or how cold the Black Forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on the other side of the table? Karina. That's my mom's name. I guess she carved it with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was my mom afraid of the Black Forest, the black back then, the dark back then? Wow, I can read today. I wonder, was my mom afraid of the dark back then? I thought I was gonna say Black Forest because, like, it's all dark, but oops. Or the sound coming from the attic. Or the thick forest. There's the forest part. I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting on the edge of her bed, where Olia sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you are a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that'd be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anyone, or never yelled either. Never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without slamming dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening to one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, unholstered with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive, only the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They're all had a dead but watchful look on in their eyes. Hold on, what I need. Sorry for the clearing of throat. I need tea. It's really dry here right now, so I need to keep drinking stuff because of that. Okay. I crawled out from under the table. Olia was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze towards the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. Kitsune fox. Olia, look, it's a fox. Where? It almost looked like those optical illusion things they put on the back of students' notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and under certain angle, not outside, on the window. Look, here, the nose and ears. Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left.
Ah, there it is. But it still doesn't look like one.
And I'm telling you, it does.
Nuh-uh.
It does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the forest, only the frosty pattern, similar to stretched out nettle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long measured steps. I want to have a beard like him when I grow up. Mom always asked jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Oli always covers her ears when she hears something like, "What's the point in all this, though?" Through the wall. Wow. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V-D. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister would be torn apart and taken into two different families.
Anyways, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. You
And your owl talk again.
said you believed me just yesterday.
Has anyone seen my keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did. Maybe not. You're a good man and the father too, and still. Katrina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a mantra out of yourself and finish eating already.
But the owl.
There was no owl.
But there was one. And it had giant glowing eyes.
Olia sprung from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had a babai in your closet, and now this owl.
But I saw it.
Olia shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olia powdered her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with keys he just found. A minute had passed, and the theme from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored in an incredibly worn out cassette tape, which Dad has already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix in objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Olia had trouble sleeping ever since we moved into this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. No, she's so cute, but it's so sad. And then Olia said she saw a giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Just like the little tears in her eyes, the quivering lip. I feel bad for her. Olia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After last night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious?
Wow.
That night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect from my new school. There were a couple of days left before beginning a new term. My imagination grew. Long, twisted hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gasped in the middle of their face, and a pair of eyes blinking inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creature were looking at me from behind the black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Probably not if this is a horror game, let's be real. Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloody shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I don't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new and offensive name for me, worse than the previous ones. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the wall. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olia begged me to hang them. Drawing was the one thing that made me happy as of late. The circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes, I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number." Or, "Anton's not around." Anton's not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their window. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all? But who would ever like a boy? Who would ever like a boy with thick glasses?
Sorry.
I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pissed by the wind. The condo we lived in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbors' drills, mumbled with the TV sets from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though, I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner. Almost if the old photos of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusting drains were moaning, and the attic was occasionally occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of the wind, of creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window, wanted to reassure myself that the music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone's playing it there amongst the cold, snowy night. Right? Oh, definitely not.
Tea.
It's really good tea, actually. It's peach. Okay, let's open this window. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around, and crawled on all fours? Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright, at times, circling around, holding hands, whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment, and then coming back.
One of them has wings.
Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly the music stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear, piercing me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Wow. Puppy. That's probably, I think it might be a puppy. It made dog sounds. I don't know. It glided on the squeaking snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around and like a bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me. A freezing terror, a freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listening to some unwanted guest move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sun moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with the blankets as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandmother lying there, hands crossed to her on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of the chairs that held my grandmother's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head, pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkled eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now lying under the blanket, listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Buyan, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color blue, strands of cabinets made of wood, there lay lard and ashen hair from the spawn of devil's lair, to the forest always, to the feast, and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leave this house must, ash to ash, dust to dust. Blizzard sounds have disappeared. Bizarre sounds have disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from the blanket and saw the curtains wave around like a hanged man. And then the night drowsed me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound of scratching at my eardrums. In realization, something or someone were scratching at the front door. Hurriedly clawing at the wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ash, dust to dust, I hugged my knees and placed my chins between them and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the night. The darkness. And then the door handle twitched slightly. And then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw clamped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. Also, bro, why is your finger so wet? Like, damn. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of the doorway. Tosha. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flipping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corner of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of its gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tosha, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Olia, I'm not sleepy. Did something happen? Olia frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry.
It's there again, staring at me.
Shoo her away, Tasha, please. Tasha.
I'm too scared.
The fear was tormenting me just a minute ago. Crawling away and hiding somewhere in my stomach. I needed to help. I needed to calm Olia down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's gonna harm you. Olia sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you?
Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince? And I have this scary bird.
That question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled and fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moonlight? The darkness was clinging to the window. It couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. It wouldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair.
Tasha, are you coming?
Yeah, just a minute. Boom.
It is a wolf.
It is a wolf. I was right, it was a puppy. Cool. Why I don't want to laugh at Olia and her owl in the morning.
Doorbell!
Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from the silly thought that our morning's guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olia always hides. Tasha, come here. I felt like a cowbell kettlebells were trying to my feet, but still dragged them towards the hallway. We're gonna save. And however, this is where we are going to end today's recording. If you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time in another episode of Tiny Bunny. See you guys next time. Bye bye.